a potential major victory for President Trump on immigration, and it could stop that controversial Latin American caravan right in its tracks. Fox News reporting that less than 2 hours ago, the White House came to an agreement with Mexico on how to deal with thousands of migrants heading north to the U.S. The largest caravan reportedly made up of more than 4,000 people. It's currently in Guatemala. Many claim to be refugees, but the president claims the group was infiltrated by criminals. According to the deal, Mexico is going to stop the migrants at its southern border. The United Nations will be there, and they're going to be sent to determine who really is a refugee and who is not. And if they have a legitimate claim, the UN will find them a host country that may or may not be the U.S. If they do not find that they are refugees, they will be sent home. But perhaps the biggest development concerns migrants who somehow get around the new rules and actually make it into the U.S., because according to the deal, those people will no longer be held indefinitely in crowded U.S. detention centers waiting for a judge to hear their case. Instead, they're going to be sent back to Mexico, and the Mexican government will determine what to do with them then. This all comes after the president shot out a furious round of tweets this morning, reading in part, quote, "I am watching the Democrat Party led because they want open borders and existing weak laws assault on our country by Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, whose leaders are doing little to stop this large flow of people, including many criminals, from entering Mexico to U.S. In addition to stopping all payments to these countries, which seem to have almost no control over their population, I must, in the strongest of terms, ask Mexico to stop this onslaught, and if unable to do so, I will call up the U.S. military and close our southern border."
Breakaway group of migrants from the caravan moving through Guatemala has reportedly reached the border with Mexico. This comes just hours after President Trump threatened to send in the military to secure the border if the migrants aren't stopped. The president blaming Democrats for the new crisis on Twitter, claiming their support of weak immigration laws is making the situation worse. Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi is putting her foot down, saying her party isn't planning on working with President Trump. Oh, she says, I'm sorry, I don't see any of us voting for wall funding. We have a responsibility to secure our borders. There are ways to do that are consistent with civilization, humanitarianism, and who we are as a nation. We have to remove all doubt about that. And with only 19 days to go until the midterms, a new Fox News poll shows what's extremely important to voters. 46% say it's immigration. I just want to show this other poll, the Fox News poll with vote preference among those saying that border security is extremely important. The Republican candidate at 58%, the Democratic candidate at 35%. And with this new caravan, Jesse, moving its way north 19 days before the election, not good timing for Democrats. And Kennedy, the other thing is in these caravans, what the Department of Homeland Security is reporting, that the number of sexual assaults happening along this route, and not just in the caravan, as Jesse was saying, about 1,600 migrants try to cross the border a day. They're finding repeated incidents of sexual assault for children even. I mean, this is happening across the board.
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, we saw some of that, unfortunately, in the shelters in the aftermath of Hurricane Florence. And it's, you know, an unfortunate aspect of human nature. And, you know, we have to find a way to let really good people into the country and keep really bad people like that out of the country. The government hasn't sufficiently done that. And I think part of this rests on Congress because we've got a very confusing immigration system. And Democrats and Republicans, I'm convinced this is the one issue where they will never work together. But it's interesting because they have a president who actually, even though he's a hardliner rhetorically on immigration, I think there's a lot that he would give to Democrats in order to come up with a compromise. And I don't think you would see that with the Obama administration and Republicans in the same way, or with past Republican administrations. So they need to fix that. And if you think about the kind of people you want to have in this country, you want people who are hardworking, people who are ethical, people who look out for their families and their communities, and people who are very physically strong. So I think we need to set up an American Ninja Warrior obstacle course at the border, and whoever can make it, you can't fake it, they get through.
The other thing is
it's fair and
the United States is trying to help those countries with aid, also helping in their criminal justice system. Crime actually going down in Honduras and Guatemala, and yet the caravan still comes.